Little bit of panic on Joe Burrow, on the Joe Burrow front, walking into 2025, weeks 15, 16, 17, let alone Dynasty, because Joe Burrow went to the podium today and made some comments that sound panic-stricken, depressed, second-guessing, questioning what he's doing, why he's doing it, how long he wants to play. Now, a lot of us are going to say, look, you're reading into this a little too much. And I that's my stance, essentially. Not to ruin the entire live stream, because we still got a lot to talk about. T. Higgins, what's T. Higgins' value with the concussions? Is he a big risk going forward? What's Jamar Chase's likelihood of surviving all of this turmoil? There's a lot to discuss, so don't go anywhere. But we got to remember Joe Burrow a week ago, 2 weeks ago, was like, I'm not going to sit out the remainder of the season. I'm going to come out here and play. I'm a football player. I want to try. That's who I am. And 1 week later, he's depressed at the presser, answering questions that sound like he's questioning football. So we got to understand he's in his feelings right now, understandably so. Maybe he's questioning wanting to be in a Bengal uniform. Now, trading Joe Burrow is a near impossible task, and I'll talk about that in a minute too. But it's time to dig into. We usually do one player videos on the Dynasty channel. Very organized, very focused, very contained. It's either a live stream or an upload, but it's usually about one player. And this will focus on Joe Burrow. But this particular live streams more than uploads, have a tendency to focus on other connected players. So this one will probably cover 4 or 5 players, as we're talking about Chase Brown, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow. But that doesn't mean we won't have self-compartmentalized videos on Jamar Chase, on Chase Brown. This is the focus of this Dynasty channel will be one-shot willies on one player at a time, saving fantasy football lives one player at a time. File on into the Graveyard Dynasty stream, baby.
You're watching a
Graveyard Stream.
live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Dynasty Fantasy Football Show.
Here we are talking Dynasty Fantasy Football. Get ready for a lot of it, because the Dynasty channel ain't going anywhere. This is live, by the way. This is live. If you're missing live streams on this channel, make sure you're subscribed. Joe Burrow went to the podium today, or sat there answering questions, and here's the screenshot of the tweet. And there's more to it, and I'll read more to it. I'll tell you more about it. But this specific tweet says, Joe Burrow's presser today felt very reflective, according to my sports update, and at a time a bit dark. And quote, if I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I have been through a lot. If it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? End quote. And then later on, Joe Burrow saying, quote, there's just a lot of things going on right now, end quote. Follow-up, reporter said, you mean personal or football related? And he said both. And he's just going through a lot and you know, trying to get his, head straight, essentially. And we talked about this at the 8 p.m. show, that there's a lot of people out there that are just trying to get clicks. And you could say the same thing about me to a degree, and I'm not going to sit here and argue against you and say, oh, I'm not here to get views, or I'm not here to spark up conversation, or occasionally a graphic or a headline might say panic like this. Like, there's a little bit of marketing involved. Like, I'm not a moron, okay? There's a little bit of marketing involved, but there's a question mark there. One thing you won't get from me is misleading. You'll get an intrigue. Like, this question's being posed by the industry. There is panic on Joe Burrow. I'm not fabricating the panic. A lot of the time when I bring up a topic of panic, I bring it up to shoot it down. Not always, but in many cases. I'm never going to mislead anybody. So if anybody comes in here, a keyboard warrior, and says, oh, Smitty, there's no panic. He's just trying to get views. I'm not trying to get views. I'm talking about a topic that people are DMing me in massive amounts of DMs and communications and comments and text messages from buddies saying, is Joe Burrow retiring? I keep seeing that. People are saying that. Joe Burrow contemplating retirement? I didn't say that in my headline. And, is there a day where I might try and pique your interest? And sure, but for the most part, I'm answering I'm posing an honest question in the industry, of which I will shoot down. A lot of other people will just try and get clicks. But this is a topic that you guys want to talk about as a populace in general. The massive amount of people, maybe the one, worried William or the I know everything Ian out there's like, hey, I know Joe Burrow's just getting, this is stupid. Could we talk about Dynasty? Could we talk about 17 rookie wide receivers no one knows about? Why aren't we doing that stream? And honestly, you may think that's what everybody wants to see. This is what people want to talk about because of the degrees of separation and connection that T. Higgins has to Joe Burrow's decision-making, his head, his health, all of that. You have Chase Brown connected to Joe Burrow. Chase Brown looked putrid without him earlier before they brought Flacco in. It was a disaster over in Cincinnati. Chase Brown was written off by everybody but us because we knew who Chase Brown was. Chase Brown is who we thought he was. Chase Brown is back, baby. And everybody that says Chase Brown is not where he needs to be, he is. He's absolutely where he needs to be. But we remember, we've got eyeballs. We saw all of you. Receipts dropped and all the live streams. Oh, Chase Brown's trash. He's not explosive. See if Joe Burrow's not there. Now everybody loves Chase Brown again. The industry loves Chase Brown again. Well, we never left. But there's so many connected variables here that are connected to Joe Burrow's depressive live stream or Q&A. And let me tell you, guys, if you watched it or you go watch it back, he is depressed. He is not feeling good about football. He's not feeling good about Cincy. And if I had to read in between the lines on Joe Burrow in this situation, the conclusion I come to is this. Joe Burrow's not contemplating stepping away from the game. Joe Burrow, like any of us in our job, I'm sure some of you love your job, some of you love your relationship, some of you love it, but everybody gets to a breaking point where you walk out of a room and you say, I've had it. And then an hour later, you haven't had it. You want to go back to the situation you're in, especially if you think about like a relationship, okay? You get in your car, you slam the door, you leave the house, and you're like, oh my God, they're driving me nuts. I'm done with this crap. You drive down the street, and, you pick up the dinner for the family, and on the way back, you're absolutely in love with your family again. We're talking about Joe Burrow having a moment. He's depressed. He doesn't love what's going on there. But here's my prediction of this situation. Joe Burrow, depressed as he is, as depressed as he looks, he's slumped over like he hasn't played a lick of football in years. It looks like Phillip Rivers out there at the podium. And the thing that I think he's going to do it, the thing I think he's trying to maybe accomplish here is the best way to word that. I'm sorry, is that he's trying to send a message over the bow, a shot over the bow of the Bengals organization, and say, if you don't get me in a place where I can have fun, I don't want to do this here. And I don't know that Joe Burrow or anybody thinks this is a move that happens this coming off season. That's where I think people they get excited about this stuff and they start going, Joe Burrow wants a trade. Joe Burrow doesn't want to trade now. He might want to trade later. Joe Burrow's not making a trade determination this offseason. Joe Burrow's saying, fix it. Fix it. Let's run it back. He doesn't want to play without Jamar Chase. He doesn't want to play without T. Higgins. This is a big decision if he was wanting to leave. Not to mention he can't leave. Not this upcoming 2026 season. Why? Money. Money is why. There's no way Joe Burrow can get out, or the Bengals can get out on this Joe Burrow dead cap that is sitting here at 2026. Look at the 2026 line. You're looking at $56 million dead cap. $56 million dead cap. There's no way this team is trading Joe Burrow. Not to mention, even if he wanted to, it would take a year of a dissolution of this marriage to even get to the point where they would potentially say, you know what, I think we have taxed out this relationship, but he wants out. We can't win with him. Let's just rebuild. That would be where this is at. And that would be a dead cap of, what was it, 30? It's still 56 this year. So 2027 offseason, $36 million. A huge dead cap. There's math that you can fudge and move around, and there's accounting stuff that, you and I don't have a doctorate in, so we can't discuss all finite details that would go into the dead cap for that specific year in the future. But guys, Joe Burrow's not getting traded in the offseason. Let me make that abundantly clear. The money is the reason that can't happen. Joe Burrow is not getting, let me repeat it for all the people in the back, Joe Burrow is not getting traded in 2026, nor is Joe Burrow going to request a trade anytime this upcoming offseason or in 2026, unless things get so bad in the middle of the year, then you start talking about what that cap hit looks like if he's traded midseason, he's played half of his contract. Like, those are the things that you start getting into the details about. Joe Burrow wants nothing to do with any other team right now. He's sending a shot over the bow saying, fix it. What am I doing this for if we don't have fun, if we don't have a shot, if you don't get me an offensive line, if you don't fix our defense and allow me some reciprocation of moving the football down and up the field? Because if the defense doesn't put him in a 50, 60-yard field, short field from time to time, he's having to put his body at risk, throwing more yards, taxing out the shoulder, taking more hits, taking more chances, throwing more hospital balls, putting T. Higgins in concussion protocol because they're down and needing a prayer, throwing a ball up to T. T's got to catch it for this game to be even remotely close to being won, and that's where the injuries happen. That's why this is so important to T. Higgins, to Jamar Chase, to Chase Brown, to all the players connected to Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow's mental state, Joe Burrow's destination eventually. But Joe Burrow ain't going anywhere in 2026. Let me make that abundantly clear for the people that are out there spreading a narrative that is not likely or even close or remotely possible in the realm of mathematics or science or accounting. He can't go anywhere in 2026, pal. T. Higgins is somebody that we need to discuss real quickly before we wrap up the overall values of these players involved. And I might take a few phone calls and discuss this topic of conversation briefly before we, end the live stream, let's say 10, 15 minutes from now. So buckle up. We're not done. We got T. Higgins convo to discuss. We've got a player that is an electric fantasy football week-winning monster any given Sunday. Sometimes he vanishes. Sometimes he drops the ball. Sometimes he's a disaster. But T. Higgins is a marvel and a bona fide wide receiver 2 in fantasy a lot of the time. And it's because of this man right here. If this man vanishes, this man's nothing. Not maybe he's still flex worthy at times, or maybe he becomes like what DK Metcalf is valued at right now. Like, Smitty, do I start DK Metcalf in my third wide receiver spot, or do I start Juwan Jennings? That's what Higgins is regulated to without Joseph cigar smoking Burrow. Do you understand what I'm saying? People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
However, with Joe Burrow, which is this scenario, you can't separate situation from player. The player is connected to the situation. The situation is connected to the player. It's interwoven. So T. Higgins is Joe Burrow's wide receiver. So T. Higgins is a bona fide wide receiver 2, sometimes elite, sometimes middle, sometimes low end, but he's a wide receiver 2 in fantasy, and that's not going to change for as long as he's on the field healthy. Is he going to stay healthy? This man was concussed. In week number 14, this man suffered a concussion. If you ask me, that's my opinion. He suffered a concussion. I think everybody knows it. When Tua Tagovailoa suffered a concussion and got up and was all jostled around, and his teammates picked him up, he fell again, they picked him up, marched him down the field, he continued playing, and his coaching staff's like, all right, we didn't know he was concussed. You knew he was concussed. He was concussed, and Tua ended up playing on a concussion, which ended up triggering this long bout of concussions that year, made him almost retire, made him sit out football for a long time. It was that situation that caused Tua to have the situation he endures now. T. Higgins playing on a concussion in week 14, in my opinion, he was anyway. That's my opinion. I don't have facts, but I have my eyeballs in 20 plus years of doing this professionally. Not as a part-timer. This is my hobby. I do it late at night, and that's all. This is what I do professionally, day in, day out. And my educated opinion and guesstimation is T. Higgins was mother freaking concussed. And his team sent him back out there. He cleared the protocols. You could say, well, he cleared the protocols, or whoever's clearing the protocols is wrong. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that T. Higgins was concussed. Didn't know where he was. He was all jostled around. Started dropping the ball. His visuals were off. His perception was off. How many footballs did T. Higgins drop after that alleged concussion? Multiple. How many times did I say on the live stream when we were watching that game, I said T. Higgins is dropping everything because he was concussed? My point being this: when you play with a concussion, brain damage, concussion is not a head bump. It's not a concussion. It's brain damage. When you play with brain damage, which is what T. Higgins was playing with at the moment in time when he started dropping all the footballs, and he was still making plays because he's T. Higgins, because he plays for Joe Burrow, because he's got Joseph cigar-smoking Burrow, spinning the rock, slinging the rock, smoking the cigars. This is what happens to a guy like T. Higgins. He's going to catch a few balls. But T. Higgins probably is more, this is my estimation, my guesstimation, my 20-plus years of experience covering concussions, covering injuries like no other channel you know, or no other content you know. And for those of you on the Dynasty channel, we have the main channel. So if you're looking at the subscription number here going, this guy's got under 3,000 subs. What's he talking about? He's been doing this 20 years. Get on over to the YouTube channel on link down. Go to my main Dynasty channel, scroll down and click on The Fantasy Football Show, or YouTube The Fantasy Football Show. You'll find the main channel. It's probably in the link of the description as well. So check that out. But I'm telling you this. Brandon Cooks, Tua Tagovailoa, when you have a concussion and you play with brain damage and you are a concussion waiting to happen from then until the end of time. Now, we haven't seen Tua get one lately. We haven't seen Brandon Cooks get one lately. But for a while, they struggled to stay healthy. My point being is this. I would not be surprised whatsoever if T. Higgins had even a 100% more likely chance, literally at least double the chance of getting a concussion the next time his head gets hit in a way that gives some concussive prone players a concussion. He is a double or maybe even triple the chance of having a concussion the next time his head gets hit in a way that maybe the normal person wouldn't get concussed. Meaning his head hits the ground. How many times you see a player catch a ball, head hits the ground, and you're like, and then he gets up and you're like, okay. T. Higgins is probably 2 or 3 times more likely to get concussed the next time his head hits the ground because his team sent him out there with brain damage. He took more hits, caused more long-term damage, and unfortunately, he's going to be more susceptible to concussions because his team didn't react properly. That's my educated opinion. So there's some inherent risk with T. Higgins moving forward. At least for the next couple of years, we've seen, like I said, Tua, Brandon Cooks able to ease back into society without being concussed every time they absolutely somebody taps them on the head. Hey, good job, pal. Where am I? Squirrel. That's what's going to happen with T. Higgins potentially. Now, I'm still drafting him. Depends on his value, but he will come with concussion risk moving forward for the next couple of years until we see this thing potentially not be, in existence anymore for him in terms of the day-to-day head bumps. Whenever he gets one, he will be very susceptible to concussions because of the way this thing was handled. Now, talking in dynasty value, I'm going to say this. Joe Burrow, still a top 5 fantasy football dynasty quarterback. Does Joe Burrow come with some risk? Absolutely. Guy can't stay healthy. So got to have a backup plan. You draft Joe Burrow as your QB1, you better have a very comfortable backup plan. It is something that scares you, though, drafting Joe Burrow, because you wonder about the injuries. But Joe Burrow's value probably lingers in the middle rounds, not later rounds, but middle rounds versus those early quarterbacks going a little bit earlier, 1, 2, 3 rounds ahead of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow will constantly linger behind 2, 3 rounds from the big dogs, which kind of protects you, kind of makes it an appealing pick, even with the risk involved. Joe Burrow is still a top 5 fantasy quarterback, still capable of QB1, 2, or 3 at any given moment on the season. He feels more of a 3 to 6 guy, 3 to 7 guy, probably never really lingering consistently in the 1, 2, or 3, but a potential 3, 4 to 6 player. And that's good. That's amazing. That's fantastic. He's one of the few not running quarterbacks that can linger with the top 4, but the not running aspect will always kind of limit him a little bit from being super ultra consistent multiple years in a row as a top 3-4 quarterback. So he will be more of the, we'll call it 4 to 6, 4 to 7 variety, which is fantastic value given he goes 2-3 rounds later than the big dogs. T. Higgins, same thing. I mean, it depends on where he goes. If he goes round 4, round 5, he's a steal. If he goes round 3, top of round 3 in a dynasty startup, I don't think he will because he's not a spring chicken. Ziggy, how old is T. Higgins, the Bengals wide receiver?
T. Higgins is 26 years old.
When was his birthday?
T. Higgins was born on January 18th, 1999.
Okay. So January, so he's turning 27. He's not a spring chicken. So where does he go? Round 4, round 5? No one's taking him in round 3. If he went around 5, it's worth the risk in some regards. It depends how you're building. You know, you should try collab. I'm not doing collabs with my medicals, bro. Okay, your boy's being. I don't need someone else to tell me how to do my job, bro. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. Do I tell people how? Abomination to come and type up the TPS report? No, I don't. You know, you've been doing it for a long time too. I'm not telling you how to do your job. As I was saying, these are 2 players that come with a lot of risk. The main player everybody wants to talk about is Jamar Chase. And I think the panic of Joe Burrow's comments today are saying to people, well, look at Justin Jefferson without his quarterback. You know, what are we going to do with Jamar Chase? Look at Jamar Chase. We're already enduring this. Look at with Browning, we had Jamar Chase regulated to a wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 2 production is what we got out of Jamar Chase. Better than JJ. JJ's not even a wide receiver 3 without a quarterback. We've been painfully aware of that all year long. But I'm here to rest assured. I'm here to ease your mind. Nothing's happening to Joe Burrow in 2026. He's going to be a Cincinnati Bengal, but he also has to stay healthy. Jamar Chase isn't as secure as Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is the number 1 overall dynasty player. Jamar Chase is in the top 5, but he comes with Joe Burrow risk and also Jamar Chase risk. He comes with Cincinnati Bengal risk, and he comes with a lot of other risk. There's a lot of other things tied to Jamar Chase, making him a little bit of a volatile play from year to year as the number 2 overall, 1 overall. But he's still locked into the top 5. Why? Because he's got Joseph Cigar smoking Burrow, and Burrow ain't getting traded at least for another year, probably never. But if he did get traded, it wouldn't be in 2026. They can't move him. So this man's value is safe. He just has that injury risk for him and Joe Burrow that accompany his ADP. So you got to weigh out your options. That's what makes Jahmyr Gibbs in his situation so locked in as the number 1 overall dynasty player. Jahmyr Gibbs, plain and simple, no argument, period.
You've just been Smitty approved.
That's it. I don't think anybody should be thinking any deeper about this from a Jamar Chase perspective. Like, Smitty, what about 3 years? But who cares? You don't think Joe Burrow and the Bengals have a chance to make this thing copacetic? I mean, it's certainly he's upset. Joe Burrow's upset. I'm not worried about this. This is not a worry or concern for 2026. If Joe Burrow goes through an entire 2026 season, I'll get to these super chats in a second. Gifted one, appreciate the super chat. And Stone just dropped a $20 holler. Stone, I'll be with you in 1 second. Let me just wrap this up real quickly, then we'll open the phone lines. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not worried about anything Dynasty right now with Joe Burrow, with Jamar Chase, with T. Higgins. T. Higgins at 26, turning 27 is going to have some protected in ADP and startup value that will hold him guaranteed outside the top 3 or 4 rounds because he's older. People don't want older players in Dynasty, so protects him into injury risk. I'm not even worried about that. Chase Brown. Ziggy, how old is Chase Brown?
Chase Brown is 25 years old.
When's his birthday? I wish you would tell me his damn birthday.
Chase Brown was born on March 21st, 2000.
Okay. So he turns 20. Wait, what? How old is he again? What did you say? 25?
Chase Brown is 25 years old.
Okay, so
He'll turn 26 on March 21st.
Thanks. Can you repeat it that way from now on so I don't have to ask you the damn birth date every time?
I'll remember that you don't want to hear about birthdays. I've added that to remember this.
No, I want you to Ziggy, you moron. Ziggy off. He's a moron. He's the worst. His upgrade has been worse. He knows so much more, but he's so much more inept. He's so much more inept. You're fired. So I would say, where was I at? I don't even know what I was saying. Damn Ziggy. Chase Brown. So our value on Chase Brown, he's got at least 3 or 4 years left. Dynasty, 25, 26-year-old players sometimes frighten some Dynasty owners. I always tell people if you're drafting for if you're drafting for only 23 and 22-year-old players, you're playing for second place. You got to have so many veterans, and Chase Brown, not a veteran yet, but probably will be here in the next, after one more year, people will consider him an older player, I suppose. But right now, he's still got 2, 3, 4 years, and no one should be playing for more than 2 to 3 years at a time. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Someone said choppy. How about now? How long has it been buffering? It should be better now. It's probably on my end. I don't know. I switched over to a different connection, so should be cleared up now. Chase Brown, don't fret. All right, let's open the phone lines after I answer these super chats. Smitty, love the show. I'm in the championship. News helped. Who should I flex? Jennings, Sutton, Watson, McLaurin, or Henderson? I'm going Trey Henderson, bro. I like McLaurin a little bit. Watson's going to be blanketed. And Sutton's nice. I don't mind Sutton. I think he's going to have a bounce back. Jennings, no thank you. I mean, anytime he could have 100 yards, but I mean, I'm not starting Jennings. Trey Henderson. Trey Henderson, easy question. Thank you for the super chat. Anything can happen, though, so make sure you trust your gut. And don't let me sway you entirely in a new direction. It should be better now. I just switched out the connection, so it should be completely... It's been buffering for 5 minutes. I mean, someone should have probably called and told me that. The phone line is open. 10-man PPR, 11-3, first secured buy. Is it still choppy? First secured buy in the week 18. Sad. Week 18. Oh, you got to change this, bro. 11-3, first secured buy championship in week 18. Sad. Josh Allen, JT, Hendy. You're flushing your money down the drain when you play through week 18. I'm just letting you know, like you're gambling the things you have no control over. It's not fun or strategy. It's really stupidity. Not you, Stone, but the league playing through week 18 is it's moronic. Your team's fantastic. Josh Allen, JT, Hendy, Jettas, Buka, Kittle, Rice, bench, MHJ, Mont. It's a good team, man. Pick up Quorum. I probably would. Do I prepare different? You prepare different in that, like, you probably have a chance to let go of like Jacoby, Wandell, MHJ, even depending on, his health here. We'll see. I'd probably hold him for now, but you're looking at maybe trying to grab players that can win a league, bro. Like probably Brian Robinson Jr. Tootin in some ways, sure, still. Ray Davis, all these backup running backs that can walk in and win a league. Wilson, the backup to Jacobs. Jacobs has been banged up. Wilson he's already delivered. So I definitely look. What's going on with the stream? Somebody refresh and tell me if the stream is still choppy now. Stone. Hopefully Stone has an ability to hear this. So Stone, that's my take. Hopefully you heard me. Appreciate you, Stone. Like the team. I think is it still choppy? I don't think it's me then. It's got to be YouTube. So I guess we're gonna bail out of here. Part of me wonders if those of you that still have it choppy just need to forward through. I don't know if it was YouTube, like if the recording is choppy and it's not even the connection, like if you forward straight to where we're at, you'll be okay. I don't know. I don't think it's me. I've switched different internet connections. I don't think it's me. I think it's YouTube. So hopefully that helps you, Stone. Thank you for the $20 hauler. Appreciate you.
Alert.
Great team.
Super
Great team.
chat.
Fantastic squad. But yes, the object would be pick up these league winners. Corum is one of them too, though. So Corum, Brian Robinson Jr., Emmanuel Wilson, who's done it before. We've seen it. Tootin to a degree as well still, even though ETN looks great. These league-winning home run hitters. Sean Tucker, Wright, back up to Achan. But I would go through that gauntlet of players. Bigsby also. All these players, these running backs, can home run hit for you, and they're better value than Wandell and Jacoby. Are you really going to play those guys? No. So I would drop them and pick up those home run hitters. That's probably where I would go with this team. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for the super chat. In a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, and if that ever happens, guys, one of my mods or somebody call into the phone line and let me know if it's too choppy or whatever. But I don't think it's something we could have helped because I switched the internet connections and it didn't fix it. So I'm pretty sure it was just YouTube having a malfunction. But here we are. I'll maybe have to cut that part out. Thank you, Gifted. Appreciate you dropping your super chat. And Stoney, appreciate you. And yeah, again, I didn't mean that comment on you. I'm just saying it's ridiculous that commissioners, run through week 18 right now. And they have some sort of logic of like, it's a challenge, it's fun, we've always done it. Like, fix it. The content's not even there for you, bro. You're watching content that supports everything but that final week. I mean, we'll talk about it, but you're not going to get me out here talking the same thing about week 18. We're talking about 2026. If you super chat, I'll answer any week 18 question you have. You call in, I'll answer any week 18 question you have. But we're not banking anything toward week 18. But anyway, we're on the Dynasty channel here. So if anybody has a Dynasty question, hit me with the question. My final recap of this. I don't know if it got too choppy to even hear. Not worried about Joe Burrow. Can't get traded. His dead cap won't allow it. There's nothing going on in 2026. He's mad now. Shot over the bow. His comments, his negativity, everything he said today at the presser was a shot over the bow to tell the Bengals, fix it. Let's run it back one more time. And if not, then I need to have a conversation about where maybe I play football. And at that point, his dead cap after 2026 will allow him to maybe request a trade if he wanted. But that's downstream if the Bengals don't support him properly. At the end of the day, he's squabbling in his mind with the team and the organization. Not with T. Higgins, not with Jamar Chase, not with Chase Brown. And they're all safe right now. They're all very, very safe assets. And you can't make trades or avoid players based on the assumption that over 1 year from now, he might end up getting traded. Plain and simple. I think the stream's cooked for the rest of the night, guys. I mean, we had a lot of people drop off because it was choppy. I'll see you all tomorrow. At least we got this good little stream in. I'll see you all tomorrow. Appreciate you all. Appreciate everybody. Wish I would have known it was choppy for as long as it was. If it was me switching over and everybody was just saying it, it's good. Yeah. All right. I'll open the phone lines for a minute here. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in. Hasn't been choppy for a while, says Travis. Sticky says it's been fixed for a while now. I don't know. I mean, it could have still been YouTube though. Just because when I switched over, I don't know. But that's weird. That's crazy. But yeah, if anybody notices that, just dial into the show and tell me. Tell me it's multiple people though. If it's just you got to restart your phone or something. But if anybody has something related to this, not your Week 15 fantasy football lineup, we're on the Dynasty channel. I mean, I'll take a super chat. Any super chat, I'm not going to deny a super chat. But I mean, if you're going to call in, let's have a conversation about the Cincinnati Bengals. If my phone line's even working, which I might need to restart that, which means that we can't even take phone calls. What's up, Travis?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I think like your chat is behind us because every time I hit live, it shows I'm still like 10 seconds behind. I don't know if that's happened to anyone else. And like,
well, I mean, the latest
saying it's fixed.
The latest message I see is the chat and his aren't correlated, and Toner just posted that. So I mean, I'm seeing it. Like, type something in the chat right now, and I'll tell you when I see it. I don't think I'm behind. I think the chat might. I mean, what might be happening is somebody watching right now. The choppiness got them so far behind they haven't fast forwarded back to reality where I am. I'm not behind. Obviously, I can't be behind. I'm going to be in front, and everyone's going to be trailing. And if your stream got paused or choppy, you were slowed down. And you just got to scroll. But yeah, just type this 2:41 a.m. I saw your message right away. Yeah. I think it is.
No, that's what I meant. Is like people were still catching up.
Yeah. But I see people saying Smitty doesn't know that he's behind. I'm not behind. You're behind. Like whoever's saying that. You just got to forward the stream. Like go out, come back in. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure. It is what it is. I mean, the viewership tailed off when it was choppy anyway. It's BS, but whatever. What do you got, Travis? Real quickly before we go, what are you thinking on these? This Joe Burrow.
Yeah, so I'm not I agree with you. I'm not really worried about 2026. I think it was odd that Burrow came out and said it in public, like that. Like, not really like, unless he's trying to send a message to ownership or something. Not really like something a leader does,
Yeah, I mean, definitely is wild. I think he definitely is sending a message that he's not in the best place right now, and it's that's okay. That happens. The team. I mean, what more can you ask from somebody to just go play? Like you can't. There's nothing to fight for. There's nothing to play for, and he still wants to go out and play. And then they're losing. They're not. Like he's a little bit depressed, but he shot over the bow, and he's saying, "Let's get this fixed." He's not telling him, "Let's get this fixed in the offseason," or "I'm leaving this offseason." It's going to take time to see if those fixes worked. A season. He'll have to play on it. So he's saying fix it. And then I could see him next year if he's getting pummeled into the ground and he's missing time and he's like, I'm done. I get Jamar Chase is here. I get that T. Higgins is here, but I'm not going to last doing this without support from my organization. So we'll see where he's at next year, but there's certainly there's nothing that's going to make this happen this year. So from a dynasty perspective, people are wild, and if they're trying to maneuver out of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Chase Brown, off of this news as if it's any dynasty implication right now at all. It's so many things have to happen continuously bad for this to turn into something that ends up being something where Joe Burrow wants to leave and the organization says, yeah, we do too. You know, they could say, no, we're not trading you. Like, hell no.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You just don't see those top 5 guys move. Like, it takes so much for a team to move off of them. How bad would that look if they were like, okay, yeah, we'll trade you? That doesn't happen.
Yeah, see me, appreciate you. If your show is behind, I don't know what to tell you. Like, close the app and reopen it because it should be fully functioning now. I don't know.
And like when you hit the live button, 5 seconds later, check, because YouTube was catching up. Like I would hit live, it would go live, and then it would say I was 20 seconds behind it. So there was something going on with YouTube. I don't think it was on YouTube. It seems good.
All right. Real quickly, let me go to DJ, then back to Travis, then I'm out of here. DJ, you're live.
I feel like I'm calling in pretty often. The best show on the planet, Smitty, Travis. The Bengals, with regard to Burrow, really nothing to see here. It's just the Bengals organization has a history of driving players out. And, of course, paying T. Higgins, that was a problem in terms of salary cap. You know, Burrow can't have his cake and eat it too. The problem is just the organization in terms of how they work their numbers. And this is my last thing, and I'll hang up. I think the Bengals organization may be the only NFL franchise that came from, and monies in terms of wealth came from the football organization. So they weren't Brown's organization. Was it Paul Brown? He wasn't rich. He didn't come from oil money, business and whatnot. So I think their MO, very shrewd business people. And I just had that thought, when I was thinking about the Cincy organization. Yeah, they, I think, are the only organization that are making their money from the NFL. All the other ones have come from something. Not to say that the owners didn't come from money originally, but what I'm saying is they had money from somewhere else before they got into the NFL.
What are you trying to say though? What's the point of this?
It's just
like
that
that's why they're more
business. Their business acumen has always been pretty shrewd. But I know that even with their facilities.
But are you trying to suggest that it's not going to change? I mean, that it's going to be something where it's just going to be run that way, and they're never going to be about winning a championship. Is that what you're trying to say?
It is. It has been that way, in spite of the talent. So that does come in. But they wouldn't have you on the offense. Understandable. I think Burrow's that good, but they're losing their top edge rusher. But just very simply, and again to summarize, the Cincy organization is who they are. Very shrewd business people, and if they can get to the Super Bowl, great. But if not, oh well. Yeah.
It's wild to me that anybody would even be in the business, without the thought. But also the thing too, though, is like winning brings you a lot of money. Winning a Super Bowl brings you a lot of money. It's hard to imagine that's all they're thinking, but definitely might guide some decisions that end up making it come true. Like you're saying.
They don't have additional revenue streams.
Yeah,
all their money comes from the NFL, so the facilities, this and that, they never have, so I think it's built in, it's inherent in terms of how they do their business, which is kind of understandable. But winning does do that, but there is no supplemental monies that they get.
Well, the cap's the cap. also. But I would say this.
That's my piece.
I would say that, you know, Joe Burrow has a little responsibility in this. You know, like he got hurt. You know, and you could say like he got hurt because he's not protected. Yeah, but he also wanted T. Higgins, wanted Jamar Chase, wanted, you know, at all costs sign them. You know, and he did. He is a giving guy. He'll rework his deal in order to get that going. But those come at costs. You got to look at that. You know, and
if you're not drafting well,
right on top of that,
that's an even bigger issue. And
I
then
mean,
you can't keep defensive players. That's even a bigger issue.
Right. So, but some of this is on Joe Burrow, in that you can't have, as you said, eat your cake, have your cake and eat it too. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. I mean, the thing I'll say is, like, when they drafted Jamar Chase, that was what Joe Burrow wanted, and they got themselves into a Super Bowl.
Sure.
So they've gone far. They've done well. But you know, Joe Burrow seems to get whatever he wants. So, you know, if he is depressed and taking a shot over the bow, he's got to understand that he's partly responsible here. And he keeps getting injured. And whether you're getting hit or not, there are quarterbacks that get hit every, you know, as many times as Joe Burrow's getting hit. Josh Allen takes a beating game in and game out. But Joe Burrow's getting injured. And so when you get injured, you don't win. And so, you know, part of him might not just be mad at the organization. Part of him might just be mad at the damn luck of the thing, you know, that here he is, he's fighting, he can play well right now, and he can't, there's no shot at trying to win anything. But back to the dynasty angle here. I'm not worried about Joe Burrow for the most part because his value is protected in his later ADP. The injury risk is also baking in later ADP risk or less ADP risk and later ADP value. Jamar Chase is the only player that you're paying a premium for. You're paying the ultimate premium, number 2 overall, number 3 overall, some cases number 1 overall. And he is tied exactly to this man right here with no sorts of leeway. And so if he keeps getting hurt and the Bengals aren't setting up Joe Burrow for success, whether it's partly Joe Burrow's fault or mostly Joe Burrow's fault for wanting all the toys and not having the defense, regardless, it does give Jamar Chase the most risk on this board. Joe Burrow is not risky in Dynasty. T. Higgins is not risky in Dynasty because he goes around 5'6" because he's older now. Chase Brown, people are going to doubt him. I think Chase Brown, he feels like Kyron. Chase Brown is going to go into next year, redraft, but also, and especially Dynasty, as a player that no one's going to respect. They're going to say he's a system guy. He's going to lose his job. We've been hearing it about Kyron for forever. We heard about it from Achane until recently. Now everybody loves Achane. We invented Achane. And Achane now is in a place where no one's doubting him. I don't think Chase Brown will get to that place. I think Chase Brown will be like Kyron. He will be doubted walking into the remaining part of his career. And so all these guys have baked in value that makes him low risk, but Jamar Chase, you are taking a gamble every time you draft him number 2 or 3 overall, especially in Dynasty, if you tie yourself to the guy because there is risk involved. Yeah,
at that ADP, absolutely right. Great point. And we kind of saw that this year, and which begs the question as to whether or not does this bring back old man, what's his name? That was slinging the ball for Cincy.
Flacco.
Help me out. Yeah.
Joe.
Flacco.
You know, because obviously, and to your point earlier, if you're drafting Burrow, you better get a backup. But I don't know how that will help Chase. You know, to your point, better get a good one. You know,
I don't know. The problem is you bring Flacco in and he's old and he gets hurt, then your backup plan's going to get hurt. Like at some point, and I think a backup plan is important, but they're losing with Joe Burrow. They're not going to win a Super Bowl or make the playoffs with a backup. So it's almost like just get them protected. Protect them the best you can. Improve the defense. Honestly, it's personnel. There are defensive coordinators. Look at Salah. in as much as he was a bad head coach, and I think he still would be, he's a good leader of men. But Salah's unbelievable as a DC. And if you go get the right person, I think they can make this. Look at this Bengals defense has played well at times. The right personnel could make this Bengals defense 50% better.
So some of X's and O's. Yeah, X's and O's go a long way, right? I mean, we're down in Jacksonville, and across the league. Yeah, those X's and O's.
Ben Johnson
definitely go a long way.
Look at Ben Johnson and what he's doing with Caleb, the Magic Man.
Exactly. Yes. It's not always the Joes and the Smos. It's the X's and O's, and particularly in Cincy's case, because you can't have your cake and eat too. So you had to scheme them up and get a coach in there, maybe. To your point, but yeah, Chase is directly attached. Great point to Burrow. I believe. Now, I still think he could put up, number 2 production. But where you drafted him at, it's a lot. But I still draft him.
I mean, right? Yeah, running backs get hurt. We start talking about Gibbs versus Jamar Chase or JSN. I mean, is Darnold freaking locked in, player for JSN? We don't know. There's the only player. This is why I did the Jahmyr Gibbs is the 1.1 video. If you guys have missed that on the Dynasty channel, watch it. Gibbs is the 1.1. Period. End of story. End of discussion. He's baked into an amazing offense. He's got great, likelihood of this offense repeating successful seasons consecutively. And even though JSN is in the top 3 to 4, no doubt about it, Darnold is still not a lock or an amazing long-term option. Right now it works. They play football together very well, but Darnold is not necessarily the answer. And if he turns into a pumpkin during the playoffs, guess what this team's going to be worried about? Okay, do we run it back one more year? But in Dynasty, this is important information because one more year is, you're not looking 1 year, you're looking like 2 to 3 years. So that's why we're contemplating and entertaining Joe Burrow, not this year, but Joe Burrow maybe after one more brutal 2026 says, okay, I've had it. We consider it, but we're still drafting Joe Burrow because his ADP is fine. Jamar Chase is the only one that is getting taken so high at a premium that if this does not work out, let's say in 2027, then what happens to him? I don't know. Does he become JJ, Justin Jefferson, who right now, if you're watching this 3 months later, 4 months later, is crapping the bed through the entirety of weeks 1 through 14. And he's unstartable walking into this next week 15, 16, 17 for most people. If anybody's watching, let's say JJ has 150 yards and 3 touchdowns in 3 consecutive games here in weeks 15, 16, 17. We haven't seen that yet. We're not from the future yet. We're sitting in week 15 right now. If you're watching this, what does Jamar Chase become without Joe Burrow in 2027? If let's say Joe Burrow says, get me out of here. I don't know, because we've seen him get regulated to a lot lesser value without Joe Burrow. He, like JJ, needs a quarterback. Neighbors succeeded no matter what, but Neighbors is injury prone. Jahmyr Gibbs is the one. Just plain and simple. The guy's electric. Bijan's in a vulnerable situation. Achan's in a vulnerable situation. We don't even know what Achan's offense is going to look like next year because we don't know what's going on with that staff and everything. It's only Gibbs. Gibbs, tier break.
Yeah. Well, as I've said before, I have a running back bias. So, in that 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 2 RBs that I would go. Even perhaps Achan, which of course that would be Gibbs, Bijan, and Achan. I'm not too sure about, and again, this is just my opinion, Chase, or anybody else really, Puka, for that matter, because of just your PPR volume. I mean, it's just, it's built in. from that standpoint. But yeah, Chase says, that guy. I have to say this, as I've said before, also, Harvey's my guy. Harvey to the moon, as it comes to just the PPR.
All right, DJ,
Thanks,
appreciate you. Later, bro.
Thanks. Later.
All right, let's see here. Jahmyr Gibbs is so good. I mean, he's so unbelievable. His what does he have this year? He has 66 receptions already through we're going into week 15 again for anybody watching this months from now. Going into week 15, 58 receptions, 66 targets. Unbelievable amount of footballs he's pulling in per target like that. They just catches everything. 474 receiving, 3 touchdowns. 1062 on the ground, 13 touchdowns, 5.7 a rip, a long of 78 yards. Carries only 187 so far. Workload's low. Last year was 250. Year before that, 182. I mean, just good likelihood of avoiding some of the likely injuries. But Gibbs is just a monster, and he's young. Everything you want. He's Dynasty 1.1. It's not even a debate. There's not a debate. You can come at me with a Jamar Chase, and I'll tell you all of the risks that I've talked about on this live stream. You can come at me with JSN, and we'll talk again about how it's great now, but what's it going to be? And no one's saying he won't survive, but there's inherent risk in that long-term Sam Darnold situation because Sam Darnold's average. Sam Darnold is good for JSN, but he's average. He's not a great quarterback. He's doing well. He's doing good. But and the quarterbacks, we've talked about this. I did this on the Justin Jefferson show today on the main channel. Go check out that video. But we have possible quarterbacks for JJ next year. Mac Jones, Willis,
depending on their record, they could have a fairly high draft.
Yeah, rookie or J9. I mean, what other options are there? Kyler, that's trash. Look what he's not doing with his receiving core. I mean, I don't. What other names are we not thinking of right now that are viable?
Yeah. Is Brissett signed?
He's not an unrestricted free agent.
Right now, Minnesota has the 11th pick.
What about Rivers? Oh man, what if he proves himself? I'm just kidding. What pick you said?
Right now, they have the 11th pick as it states.
Yeah, Daniel Jones, but he's coming off an Achilles. It's like it's not even. I mean, Mac Jones is probably the best option, and I don't
have to trade for him.
And yeah, but San Francisco's capable of it. I mean, if anything, there's a little bit of okay. If Hurdy gets hurt again, the fan base, the pressure, they might want to. They tend to do this instead of having security. They just get rid of the threat, but. Deshaun Watson's probably staying in Cleveland because of his contract, so he's not moving anywhere. It would be Shador. Shador could get traded, but Deshaun Watson can't. He's getting paid. Watson's getting paid $47 million. So Watson's not in the picture. He's not getting traded. And they're keeping him because it's a guaranteed contract. It's guaranteed. So Watson's off the table. But Shador trade might be the best option. Then Mac Jones, the next best. Then Willis, the next best. And then rookie at 11, I don't know. I mean, maybe the top rookie, sure. They can trade up and get the number 1 pick, but I don't know that you're landing. I mean, look where Drake May went, but that was a unique draft. There was a lot of quarterbacks there. This one's pretty good. Might be 1 or 2 to 3 quarterbacks that, and we'll talk about those guys on the Dynasty channel, don't worry, that could be solid, but.
Yeah, and the benefit is that a few of these teams up top, well, I guess actually, no, a lot of them do need QBs now, the way it's shaking out.
Yeah.
Vegas, Cleveland, New Orleans, Jets, Arizona. Oh, you take QBs.
Yep. Problem is, there, the odds of anybody getting rid of a good opportunity is going to be very, very slim to none. The Vikings were at like 4. They might be able to move up to 1. Moving up to 1 would require multiple first rounders and the 11 pick, let's say. And maybe they do it, though. It's possible, but I don't know, man. All right, Travis, anything else?
No, just for the T. Higgins thing, like the concussions like that you talked about, how much would that worry you in terms of if you had him on your team, would you look to
a lot
get rid of him?
Well, I mean, I would contemplate it depending on if I could get rid of him for a solid player. But as I just said,
right,
the odds of T. Higgins having concussions in the future have greatly gone up. It's my educated guess, but this is 20 plus years of covering concussions and all these injuries. Again, enough with these Mickey Mouse medical people playing fantasy. I'd rather trust somebody that's been looking at it for 20 plus years and does fantasy professionally, not dabbles in fan. How many times do all these doctors everywhere on Twitter tell you something and it's the complete opposite? It's like, according to the conjecture of the molecular angle, this guy has a torn. Oh, he doesn't. Never mind. He's back this week. This is brain damage. Not to mention concussions. If anybody says they know a lot about concussions, they're lying, because there's not a lot on concussions at all. The concussion experts out there will tell you anybody that talks about concussions with confidence is full of crap, because true experts on concussions tell you there's not much they know about concussions, period. And this is why, for the most part, the likelihood of getting a concussion after having one goes up, because you're susceptible to them. You've had brain damage. And but then all of a sudden you have a Brandon Cooks, who's had so many concussions, but then all of a sudden stops having. Now, part of me wonders if he's had some, but he doesn't want his career to be over or something like that. We'll never really know. A lot of players will tell you after they've retired they didn't tell medical stuff so they could stay in the game. So okay, Abominable, then go watch them. And here, I'll put you in timeout. Here you go. You don't want to be here listening to my medical, then you can go somewhere else if that's what you want. You want to keep plugging your friend or whatever, then go watch your friend. There's no need for that. I'm literally I'm giving you the breakdown, and you're saying, Smitty, part of your job you should outsource, because I don't think you do as good a job. I'd rather listen to him. Then go listen to him. What are you even doing here then? You're lucky I put you in a 24 timeout. Do it again, and I'll just remove you. I mean, you're sitting here glazing other people in the chat. We don't care. I'm not getting your friend on my show to talk about medical on something that I've got covered. And if you don't think I've got it covered, then go watch him. I mean, you just said I'd rather watch him on this. Then go watch him. Where were we?
No, that was it.
Yeah.
About the Higgins.
I don't know, bro. Give me a scenario. and I'll tell you whether I want to get out of T. Higgins for what you're offering me. MHJ, no. Because I don't know, the guy's name can't even stay on the field.
JMO.
Very close. I think I'd take JMO. Yeah, because this concussion thing is real. It's real. Mm-hmm. But it's not the end all of Higgins. Like, I'm not avoiding him everywhere, but I think I'd rather have JMO. St. Brown's injury prone likelihoods going forward because he's getting older and he's abusing his body. He plays with things ripped off his body. Like, this guy plays through anything. There's a chance JMO has a lot of like solo time as the wide receiver one in the next handful of years. Just signed a new deal. So I don't know. But yeah, JMO would be interesting. Cross position. I mean, throw a couple running backs or scenarios at me. I mean, first rounder, I'd probably take a first rounder. T. Higgins isn't necessarily a spring chicken, not extremely old, still has a handful of years left, but he's getting older that if he starts suffering, and he's injury prone on top of concussion prone. So there's a lot of potential missed time for T. Higgins. In fact, if we look at T. Higgins' game log, he's missed so much time. He plays injured though, so sometimes when you look at his game log, you end up going, what? Past 3 years, 12 games. So he's been missing a grip of time.
Yeah.
You know.
What about like ETN? Not knowing where he's going, or Breece Hall?
I'd rather Breece Hall because he's still young.
Yep.
ETN probably not because I feel like they're about the same. Yeah, T. Higgins hasn't had 1,000 yards receiving in back-to-back seasons now. You know, it's hard to call somebody like untradeable at that JMO value when they have yet to get 1,000 yards in 3 straight years. And he's not going to get it this year. He's got 667 and 9 touchdowns. The 9 touchdowns is good. The 10 touchdowns the year prior, the touchdowns he survives on. But T's definitely a risky play. You know.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that gives me a decent idea though.
Yeah. All right, Travis. Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, Smitty. Later.
See you tomorrow. Guys, thank you for watching. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the entertainment. Thank you for subscribing to this Dynasty channel as well as the main channel. Thank you for subscribing to the Rumble channel as well. Here is the Rumble link if you want to become a part of the Rumble community. Hit this right here. This was, again, a Dynasty show, and we will be attacking more Dynasty content than you can handle this offseason. This is the second Dynasty show today. We did a live stream right now, and I uploaded a Justin Jefferson video on the Dynasty channel prior to this video. So you got another video to watch. And yes, Rumble is free. It's just like YouTube. Download the app. I'll pin the link in the live chat, Rumble. Make sure you click this link and sign up on Rumble. Rumble is unbelievable. I can't pin I can't pin it right now. Unbelievable platform that I love a lot, and there's going to be standalone content on Rumble. We'll have a phone call show on Rumble that won't be on YouTube, and the YouTube content usually won't be on Rumble except for a big breaking news show, like if Pickens, let's say, got traded in the offseason. We go live on Rumble and YouTube at the same time to make sure that breaking news is out there. But for the most part, the Rumble show, trying to do a daily show on there. I'll try. If not, it'll be random. But if we do a daily show, it will be a standalone show. So, or I thought about, doing, we were going to do Dynasty content on there, but we decided to just bring this channel back. So the Dynasty channel is back. It's here to stay. We aren't leaving. Smash that thumb up on the way out. Appreciate you all. Don't forget, I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern on the main channel. The main channel is linked in the description of the video. We're live whenever news breaks on the main channel. We're live at Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. on the main channel. We're live at midnight Eastern on the main channel almost every single night. So the main channel gets lots of love. None of that's going away. That's freaking 3 live streams a day practically, or more. And then the Dynasty channel, I'm hoping to have like one video a day. And then Rumble's like 5 days a week, maybe 7, but we'll see how it all goes. But definitely hungry to get all 3 of these popping. Dynasty, the main channel, the Rumble channel. Make sure you're subscribed to all of them. And of course, please get on over if you haven't already. Get on over to the Spotify. This is updated. Let me see if I can find this update here. We are now, according Spotify just sent me like a little award alert on this bad boy. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's right here. Now so I can replace this. 2024 and 2025. We are now, the video, basically the show you're watching right now, this goes on Spotify. Pretty much all the main YouTube content is on Spotify. It's a little delayed. It's like about 12 hours behind or whatever. But or sometimes like 5 hours behind, 3 hours behind, not 12. And it's a video show. So on Spotify, there aren't that many video shows on Spotify. We were piloted and got an early request to be on Spotify video before. It was Joe Rogan was the first one, and we were like one of, if not the first sports video show on Spotify. And we're still one of the main only video shows that are fantasy football or sports on Spotify. And so 2 years in a row now, we're in the top 5% of not just sports, not fantasy, all video podcasts on Spotify. We're in the top 5% back-to-back years, 2024 and 2025. So make sure you go over to Spotify and hit that 5-star review, baby. We'll see you all later. Appreciate every single one of you. Dose.